joined by fellow members of our leadership team of our Women's Business Resource Group. We are called Supporting Women's Advancement and Growth. And we have been supporting SWAG in the background for the past few months, but we're really excited, to speak with you guys today and answer questions, share a little bit about all our journeys. So I already went through the housekeeping. Again, as Lorraine said, we're going to hear from a member of our HR team. We want to let you know about the wide variety of career opportunities that we have at our company. And then we're going to turn it over to the other members of the team. We'll talk to you about our various career journeys, how we ended up where we are, and what we do at NJR today. And then we'll have ample time for Q&A at the end. But if you do have a question along the way, feel free to utilize the chat. If we don't get it in that moment, we'll make sure that we review the chat at the end so we can address any questions. So without further ado, I want to introduce Meg Cody. She is a talent acquisition partner in our HR department, and she's going to give you an overview of the company and the careers. Take it away, Meg.
Thank you, Katie. And thanks so much, everybody, for allowing me to present. I'm going to hope that technology is on my side and that I can successfully share my screen. So bear with me. I hope everybody can see that. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. So yeah, welcome. We put this presentation together for Dress for Success. Wanted to give an overview of the company and share with you some useful information about our talent acquisition team. Bear with me one second. How do I do this? Sorry. I am not a Zoom pro by any stretch. Okay, so I'm Meg Cody. I'm a talent acquisition partner here at NJR. I do have to admit I'm probably the newest member of the team at today's meeting. I had the privilege to join the company during the pandemic and fairly recently. So I've been here since May of 2021, but it has been an absolute pleasure. And I'm really proud to be part of the team here. So just to give you sort of an overview of New Jersey resources, a lot of this information we cover when we're welcoming new employees to the organization, just to make sure that they have a clear understanding. So just to give you a kind of an overview, NJR Companies is a Fortune 1000 employer, headquartered here in the beautiful Monmouth County at the Jersey Shore. We do employ more than 1,200 people, many who are members of the local union, and we work with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. And it's important for you to know that NJNG is one of the top 20 largest national natural gas marketers in North America. So again, just kind of an overview of who we are. NJR is a premier energy infrastructure company, and we're actually made up of these 5 divisions. New Jersey Natural Gas, as we call NJNG, or the utility, provides safe, reliable service to over 500,000 customers throughout New Jersey. We have a division called Clean Energy Ventures. That division invests in residential and commercial solar projects to provide customers with clean, cost-effective energy. We also have a division called Storage and Transportation. That division invests in storage facilities and interstate pipeline projects that bring low-cost natural gas to constrained markets. We also have a division called Energy Services, NJRES, and that's the division that provides the physical natural gas storage and transportation capacity service to customers at the wholesale level in North America. And last but not least, we have Home Services, NJRHS, and that provides service contracts as well as HVAC, water heaters, standby generators, solar, and other products to residential homes throughout New Jersey. So it's definitely a lot more than just gas. I did want to go over some of the positions that we have available, and as I mentioned we do work with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. So we do have union positions and non-union positions. And here I wanted to just mention some of the union positions that we have available, but that are open to the general public. And it is not a requirement to be a union member to apply for these types of roles. So first and foremost, we have meter readers. Those individuals read residential and industrial gas meters utilizing company provided technology. The requirements for this position really include a strong mechanical aptitude, demonstrable working experience outside or driving as part of one's work history. And most importantly, it is the ability to walk up to 12 miles a day. We are also seeking people that have a valid driver's license and a safe driving record. We also have customer service representative positions that are part of the union. But again, we do hire these individuals from outside. And those customer service reps answer direct inbound calls to the appropriate department, provide information about products and services. They're really kind of solving problems all day long on the phone. This type of role would require customer service experience, certainly someone who can thrive in a fast-paced call center environment. We're looking for people with very good communication skills, organizational and technical skills. Our customer service reps deal with multiple different platforms with technology, so the technical aptitude is really important. Our shift dispatchers respond to emergency calls also in a very fast-paced environment. With the shift dispatchers, we are requiring someone that has prior dispatch or emergency response experience or having worked in a call center. On the home services side, there's two types of positions that we wanted to share with you. We have helper positions that would assist in the installation of residential and commercial HVAC equipment and water heaters. So in those cases, we're looking for individuals who might have graduated from an HVAC or vocational school or a technical school with 1 to 2 years of experience. A lot of the folks come into that role having been an apprentice with a plumber or heating company. And again, we are looking for someone that has a valid driver's license and a clean driving record. We also often are looking for appliance service technicians. And the appliance really there is HVAC equipment. We do both installations as well as service of HVAC equipment. And we're generally looking for people who have 5 to 7 years experience in residential and cooling equipment service. And again, with the valid driver's license and clean driving record. On the corporate side, so these are non-union positions. Just wanted to cover some of the opportunities that we do have available here at NJR. Under our Clean Energy Ventures department, we do have positions like solar business development, an analyst or managing director. In project support, we have opportunities for engineer, assistant project manager. We have a solar contract closeout coordinator and customer care. In energy services, some of the roles are transportation representative or senior transportation analyst, energy trader or senior energy trader. In NJR storage and transportation, we have transportation analyst, project support positions like a project manager or an engineer, pipeline technicians, instrumental and electrical technician, compression operator. On the gas side, we're looking for engineers, environmental health and safety, and customer experience. Furthermore, in our strategic planning and sustainability areas, some of the positions could be sustainability analyst, director of strategic initiatives and sustainability, government affairs and policy, communications. In procurement and contract management, we have buyer or strategic procurement specialist. And then in IT, we have help desk, technical support specialists, as well as developers, project managers, business architecture, and cybersecurity analysts. And then in HR, we have benefits, recruiting, payroll, compensation, employee and labor relations. Every year we do have a summer intern program that we've been running for many, many years, and actually just finished our recent program. So our internship program is a 10-week program in the area of engineering, communications, HR, IT, finance, accounting, and marketing. And people attending or pursuing a bachelor's degree in one of the areas of study listed would be able to apply to this position. This is a full-time 40-hour-a-week program that lasts 10 weeks. We usually go from June to August. So those first internships that I mentioned are working in our corporate office. And we also offer a utility internship. These people are members of the union. And in this case, we're looking for people, again, enrolled and attending a college or university, or a recent graduate of a high school vocational program. We are looking for people that have a valid New Jersey license and demonstrated safe driving and the ability to work safely. We're looking for self-starters, the ability to work independently and deliver results. Punctuality and dependability are really key attributes to this role, as are communication and teamwork skills. For the summer utility workers, because of the nature of the job, they are out in the field, so we do prefer outside experience for those roles. We did want to list some of our current openings that we just took off of our website recently. So we do, and I'm actually active recruiting for this, a lead customer experience analyst. That's a remote position. We're looking to hire anybody in the United States. A marketing analyst. We do have a strategic procurement specialist position in IT, accounting and finance. We have a director of external reporting and accounting policy, as well as a financial planning analyst. For some of our IT positions, we're quite busy in that area. As you can see, we're currently seeking a lead application developer, a manager of technical support, a senior business application developer, that's a remote option, a network administrator, IT network and telecom manager, a cybersecurity analyst, as well as an IT business analyst. And our hiring process, just to go over a little bit, anybody that is interested in applying for a job here at NJR, the instructions would be first to visit the website. You would click on a tab called About NJR, and then you could click on Careers. And then all of the open positions are listed there by job title. And you can click on a very obvious link that says apply now for the desired position. And then you really just follow the prompts to submit your application. It's pretty painless and it is mobile friendly. Oops, skipped one. For our interviewing process, we do perform behavioral-based interviews. In those, it's an interview technique that really kind of evaluates an individual's past experience, which we feel predicts their future performance. So it focuses on how an individual would handle situations in the past. So we do ask people to provide specific examples about situations they have been in previous work or life experiences that would pertain to the question at hand. We ask for a specific situation, the action an individual took, and then of course, what was the result of the situation. We are on all of these social media sites that we can be found on all of them if anybody's interested in following us. And then we do have a careers page on the internet, and certainly a direct email address for anybody to contact that would come to the talent acquisition team if anybody had any questions. And then we also have that QR code there that if anybody wants to zoom in on that, there is an overview of our company, a video that can be accessed with that QR code. So I'll leave that there just for a minute in case anybody wants to zoom in on it. And that is it for me. I think I'm going to hand it over to Jamie at this point.
Sure, I believe, Meg, there is one question at the
Okay.
bottom. And so I can read this for you. It says, question, there seems to be a lot of openings. Is it due to high turnover or company growth?
So it's mostly retirement, actually. Most of those IT positions are due mostly to retirement. So yeah, it's not really a turnover situation. There's been a lot of retirees this summer. That's kept us very busy. And we have had, some reorgs. I know that one of the senior members of the IT department had retired, and her responsibilities actually were broken up into 2 different roles. So it just kind of created a lot of opportunity. But it is generally due to growth.
Yeah, you would see that there not a lot of people leave here. So no.
And when they do, it's after 30 and 40 years.
Yeah, it's quite some time. I have a whopping 2 years, and so there are a few more questions I see
know,
coming.
I see that.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you saw them.
I do. I'm opening them now. So there seems to be a lot of openings. Okay. Also, I haven't looked at the company website yet. So most of the jobs, our headquarters are in Wall, New Jersey. So that's where a good number of the positions are. Where it says remote, it is fully remote. Like that lead customer experience analyst position that I mentioned, that's fully remote. We're happy to hire anybody from the United States. We do have other locations that I should emphasize, but we always make it very clear in the job postings where the position is located. Again, most of them are Wall. We might have utility positions, meter reader positions down in Ocean County, and that would be Lakewood, New Jersey. We do have a location in Rockaway, and do often hire meter readers for the Rockaway location. But for the most part, a lot of it is in Monmouth County. And the intern positions are paid. The office interns, generally $17 an hour. And the utility intern positions are paid based on the contracted rate with the union. But they are both paid because we're a for-profit company, so we have to pay our interns. And are most of the corporate positions in North Jersey, or are the opportunities in South? So nothing really in Cherry Hill or Camden County. The furthest south that we would have anything posted is probably Manahawkin. And then the furthest north would be Morris County, where we have an office in Rockaway. And our home services division does have a location in Dover. And the company benefits for full-time employees. I do have a snapshot, actually, that I would be happy to share. We do offer 401k, health, vision, dental, lots of involuntary insurance. It's a pretty full package that we could probably share a snapshot with you all with that information. And generally, so I know that we do have opportunities in Pennsylvania because we do have a pipeline there, but not anything in actual Philadelphia. I hope I answered all the questions. I'm just arrowing up. I think that's it. Yes? Yes.
All right. Am I up?
I think you're up.
Stuck with me? Okay. Hi, everybody. Jamie Boyd. I'm the Director of Solar Project Development here at NJR Clean Energy Ventures. Been with the company since 2020. And I think we're all going to be kind of giving a background look at past, present, future for NJR itself, or our roles at NJR in our professional lives. Originally from Western Pennsylvania, and this is kind of will pertain later on. But Western Pennsylvania moved to Philadelphia, Valerie, at a very young age, and was raised by a single mother, in a very strict household. I graduated high school at 17 years old. Went off to the University of Pittsburgh to be a doctor, or so I thought, and then I realized that I had an incredible social life and outgoing skills, but as far as my grades, they weren't so good. So I was returned to Philadelphia, enrolled at Temple, and And over the next, say, 10 years or so, kind of went back and forth with Temple. And during the time I waited tables and bartended in Philadelphia. And I really, that time that I spent waiting tables and bartending gave me incredible customer service skills and social skills that I don't think really you can get anywhere else. Waiting tables is a very humbling experience. I eventually graduated from Temple at the age of 28, and I accepted my first corporate position, not as a doctor, in a wind energy company in Radnor. And I worked as an assistant, and so I just took on everything. Unfortunately, I knew how to do nothing when I started, so I couldn't use a scanner or a fax machine or anything. So I just, volunteered to do everything just to learn it all. And I really feel like that is what gave me the advantage over a lot of others. I was with this company for 8.5 years, eventually left in 2015, and fully focused on solar. And as I mentioned, the end of 2020, I joined NJR Clean Energy Ventures. I was brought on to expand the solar investment of new and greenfield projects in and beyond New Jersey. As far as, so that's where I'm at today. Future, I don't have an answer for that. But I would say I love every minute of my job. I love what I do. It is not just a job, it is me. It is everything in me. I love being a solar developer. I just enjoy it all. And I like to give for economic development and any kind of investment, that is where I really see me shining. I don't have a striving to go into more of an executive role. And for me, it's just understanding, of our investment and taking care of our landowners, who are the most important. And as I mentioned, I'm originally from a Rust Belt town that was forgotten, and it was forgotten for a very long time. So placement of these larger scale projects in Western Pennsylvania and beyond provides an economic tax base that we can then reinvest back into those towns and give them an alternative to what they lost with the departure of coal and steel. And most of my family is in one of those towns, so they're not, it definitely hits me personally. I was able to complete my master's while at my first corporate position, but I really don't think that, and I really wanted to convey that I don't believe that to be imperative for anybody's career choice. For me, it was hammered in by my mother, but it was definitely not needed or a requirement per se for the career that I chose. And to finally finish up, I hope that each of you that are attending and listening today understand that we all deserve the seat at the table, just like everybody else. And the one quote that I will share is my mom always said, "Backbone beats wishbone every time." So that's what I got for you. Thank you so much for your time. I will shift it over to Ariella.
Hey everybody, and Jamie, thanks so much. I really love that quote, actually. It's awesome. First, so to introduce myself, my name is Ariella Pearl, and I have been co-chair of SWAG, Supporting Women's Advancement and Growth, for almost 2 years now. I work currently for NJR as the social media digital communication specialist, and that was actually very recent. And I definitely have quite a non-traditional way of getting there compared to other people who decide to be in communications and move up and be in social media. And I actually like to share that with you. So I started off my first job while I was in high school. My school offered this co-op program, which allowed me to work part-time for a portion of my credits for that year. That sounded great, to take 3 classes and then be able to work part-time and make money. So I thought, let's go for it. I worked for the company that they connected me with for 6 months part-time until I graduated. It was actually an oil company, a local oil company in the area. Once I graduated and came out of high school, the oil company offered me to work full-time. They not only offered full-time employment, they also offered a pay bump. And so you can imagine 18-year-old me getting offered more hours, $1.50 raise on top of that. I mean, I was ecstatic thinking I could somehow juggle full-time work and full-time community college, which at the time was my goal, is to make sure to, go to college, even though I didn't really know what to do. I thought, hey, that's what you're supposed to do, right? That's, at least in my mind at the time, what I thought. Turns out, couldn't do that. Couldn't do full-time work and a full-time, or even part-time, honestly, in college. It was just too much. I did a couple semesters. I burnt out. I wind up actually working at the oil company for 6 years. I worked really hard though at the oil company and realized after about 5 years of no significant raise and seeing no room for growth, that it would be beneficial to work on getting my associate's degree while looking for other work. So while I was still working on my associate's degree online through my local community college at the time, I decided to up and move from New Jersey to Maryland. I wanted to, experience somewhere other than New Jersey at the time, and my good friend in Maryland was looking for a roommate, so it worked out. I made a plan. I wrote down the names and addresses and email addresses of all the potential companies in the area that I wanted to move to, and I emailed them all my resume at the time. I also sent out like 50 hard copies of my resume at the time too. I did this a couple weeks before I set a date aside where I told myself I'm going to go there. I'm going to walk into all these businesses. I'm going to give my resume out again, see if I can get any on the spot interviews. And so then I went, right? So then I went to Maryland for that full day of stomping pavement, walking into companies to pitch myself for the job. I didn't care if they were hiring or not. I knew I was dedicated and smart and would be an asset for any business. So I walked into a couple of places on the list, introduced myself, gave my resume out. I felt super confident at the time and basically was told, yeah, we'll call you if we're interested. Or, hey, we aren't hiring, but we'll keep your resume on file. All of the typical rejections, right? So after I hit about 5 places that day, I decided to call before heading into the next place because it's just honestly easier to get rejected over the phone than it was to continue to get rejected face to face with all of these companies. So this next place I called was an electrical contracting company. Receptionist answered the phone, transferred me to HR, and HR actually answered the phone, which was shocking. I mean, I think as we all know, when applying for new jobs, even now, and this was, a while ago, even now it's very difficult to get receptionists to transfer you to HR and HR to actually pick up. But I digress. I spoke to HR. She picked up, and I tried to gather myself and explain why I was calling. She interjected and said she'd love to meet me and asked if I was available right then. And I was like, yes. I immediately drove over, had kind of like an on-the-spot interview. Went into their office. They asked me about my past employment, about myself, how much I wanted to make, all that good stuff. And when they asked me how much I wanted to make, I was kind of caught off guard. Honestly, I was too honest. I told them the exact number I needed to make in order to get by living with a roommate by myself for the first time. And to my, again, shock, she smiled, said that would be perfect. And I instantly regretted not asking for more money while simultaneously being over the moon about getting a potential on-the-spot job offer. She pulled her boss in. He was good with giving me the job offer. And I had an offer letter in hand to be their receptionist, making 40% more than I was making as a collections employee at the oil company I'd been working for at 6 years in New Jersey. So from there, I was promoted to their accounts receivable department since I had experience in collections. After a couple years, I missed home. So I came back, did the same thing with my job, like my career goals, right? And figuring out where I was going to go next. I made a plan. I had some interviews set up. Didn't work out the same way it did when going to Maryland. Nothing was really panning out. I was actually starting to panic a little as my move date got closer when I got a call from a temp agency that had a position for me. It wasn't ideal. I think it was recording flu shots at the time, which was, and by hand, mind you, at that point, they didn't have anything, any kind of technology to record it electronically. So I was manually keeping track of people's flu shots. And while I was in that position, that same temp agency also happened to be the agency that works with New Jersey Resources to help staff customer service representatives. So that was my way that I got in and even heard about the position. They pitched it to me. I was ecstatic because it was an awesome opportunity. Wound up getting the job here. And a few months later from there, I actually worked there as a customer service rep for about 4 years. And from there, after 4 years, I worked as an executive admin to some of the top leaders at this company. I can say with full honesty that this you never really know how great a company is until you are working with their leadership. And I knew I loved NJR and the gas company while I was a customer service rep, but I thought my longevity is going to be predicted right by like how this goes for the next 2 years when I support these top leaders, because it really is from the top down, I feel like. And every single leader that I supported, dealt with, they were just fantastic. Nobody felt like they were better than anybody else. Everybody was, just always pushing career development. It was honestly a fantastic experience. And I'm very happy that I took that role. And from there, I actually recently got a shot at being the social media digital communication specialist for my company. So as a friend of mine says, I play on Facebook all day. No, actually, you'd be surprised at the extent we go to vet content, get pictures, foster new ideas, do data analytics. There's a lot behind just posting on Facebook for a company or posting across all the social media channels. So as you've heard, my road from high school to now definitely isn't linear. I've gone from being an admin in an oil company without any degree to becoming a collection specialist, to becoming a receptionist. I didn't mention, but while I was that receptionist, I did get my associate's degree online. But then I went back to being a collection specialist with an associate's degree at that point, to a customer service rep, to an admin assistant, and now I'm in communications specializing in social media. So all of this to say, I had no laid out path for me. I cared about the companies that I worked for, and I want to work for a company that cares about its employees. And I found that here at NJR. I honestly didn't know where I wanted to wind up. And for my future portion of what I wanted to talk to you guys about, it's essentially, I'm not really sure. I'd love to be a manager at some point. All I know is that I love this company and I do want to continue to work for NJR, and hopefully in the future be promoted to be a manager. But as of right now, that's my career story. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And I will throw it over to Sarah.
Thank you, Ariella. Hi, I'm Sarah Errico. I hope everyone's doing well today. So my journey, much like everyone else's journey, it seems didn't take the normal path that many others paths had taken. Many of my friends, when they graduated high school, knew exactly what they wanted to do for the rest of their lives, and I myself did not. I graduated high school, went away to college, not really sure what I truly wanted to do. Education seemed to be popular at the time, so I started that route, but honestly, it wasn't something I was completely passionate about. That indecisiveness caused me to change schools quite a few times. So I started out at Keystone College all the way in northern Pennsylvania. And for a girl from the Jersey Shore to go all the way to northern Pennsylvania was a shock to my system, to say the least. I did the school thing for a few years. Eventually, I took a full-time job in a chiropractor's office just to, work full-time, see what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, because at that point still wasn't sure. I did work usually a second job, but I was always known to have at least 2 or 3 jobs, even late in high school and out of high school. So I did that for a few years. Eventually, I was given an opportunity to work as a customer service rep at a large food broker out in Burlington County. I knew nothing necessarily about a food broker, but I had worked in the food industry, so this was somewhat familiar to me. And much to what Jamie said, customer service will definitely teach you some extensive customer service skills, considering you have to be face-to-face with people that aren't always so happy. And I'm an extremely personable person. Many people on here will tell you that, and anyone that's known me will also tell you that. So this is something that came very easy to me, and I formed a lot of good relationships. This was probably somewhere around 2006. I'm actually still friendly with some of these individuals that worked for the manufacturers that I was dealing with to this day, because that's just me. I have friends all over the place. After that, I pretty much utilized all of my skills. I learned waitressing, and I just built upon that while I was there. And much like Jamie said, I don't think at that point I was really fax machine savvy. I mean, I know we don't use that too much anymore. I learned a variety of different systems there. and really being the middleman between the manufacturer and the restaurants really taught me a lot of organizational skills and multitasking, and more importantly, phone etiquette. From there, I'll be honest with you, I was looking for a change. I decided to look at NJM because they were my insurance company and I liked them. I don't know what led me there other than that. They had a first report representative position, which is the person you talk to when you call in a claim. I accepted that position, earned multiple insurance certifications, extensive call center knowledge, and much like Ariella, I mean, you definitely learn a lot in a call center and being on the phone and multitasking and just a lot of skills for business and life. So I did that for a few years. My situation of being in Burlington County changed. I did not want to be out there anymore. So I moved back to Ocean County. The commute became a little too much for me to drive to West Trenton every day from Point Pleasant Beach. So I took a job at a large insurance agency in Manasquan. There I was their claims associate. So I took and built upon my skills from NJM that I learned as far as insurance and all the certifications I got from there, and was their claims associate and eventually their claims manager. So I just continued to build on my skills from there and got a little managerial experience, which most certainly is always helpful. And as much as I love the insurance world, I found an opportunity at New Jersey Natural Gas that sort of fit my criteria. And by that, I mean, it was a position posted, revenue billing coordinator position. I did not have billing and collections experience. However, I had pretty extensive customer service and insurance experience. And they were really trying to hone in on somebody that had those skills to deal with insurance companies because you were billing and collecting on damages done to the facilities. So I'm happy to say they offered me that position. That was 2014. In the midst of all that, I did gain my associates a few years earlier. I probably should have mentioned that while working full time. And a second job, I did get my associates on my own. I finished that a few years before I started New Jersey Natural Gas. Started New Jersey Natural Gas, I was starting a family, really, really excited to work for New Jersey Natural Gas just because of their reputation. Learned a lot from career opportunities at the gas company, professional development courses. I was offered different Excel courses, continued to build my skills that way. And I feel like customer service skills really is a foundation for many things throughout your career. While I was there and my kids started to get a little older, not much, but a little older, I decided I was going to go for my bachelor's degree. New Jersey Natural Gas does have a tuition reimbursement program that I did have the opportunity to be a part of. I was grateful for that. So I, was a mom of 2 boys, married, working full time, decided, hey, why not finish my degree? I did that from March 2018 to August 2019. And I am proud to say that by age 37, I had my bachelor's degree. It took a while. It was a slow journey, but I did do it. And I finally felt at that point I had landed at a company I can say I'm starting with and I want to end with, much like Ariella had just said. The company is amazing. The people are amazing. The opportunities they provide to you are bar none, just truly spectacular. And I do feel that at some point in my 8 years that I've been with New Jersey Natural Gas and in my position, I felt I was ready to finally grow a little bit more. And I feel like my experiences, although not the normal path, did provide me the skills I needed to apply to my new role. So from New Jersey Natural Gas, I took a position as a reporting analyst with Clean Energy Ventures. I am now on the commercial solar side of the business with New Jersey Resources. And there are many opportunities within New Jersey Resources. So that's what makes this company so fantastic. You never know where your path is going to go, and you never know who you're going to run into and how that may change your opportunities in the future. So just like I said, between the courses, everything I built upon and my education, I really felt like this geared me up for the role that I presently have. And everyone's path is not the same, but what I can tell you is my experiences, from my experiences, is you build on your skills. It's okay to not know where you want to end up, but those skills and experiences will lead you to where you want to be. So I just feel like everybody just needs to be patient with that experience. With that process, I mean, and while I don't know what my future holds at this point, I decided again, I'm ready to grow more. I have a little more time on my hands, and I say that very loosely with 2 boys in sports, but I'm preparing to get my certification through eCornell in data analytics because I've found a passion for it through this new position I have. So after all these years, I'm proud to say I have a path, and I'm excited to see where that journey brings me. So I wish everyone all the best in the future, and thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're
I
welcome.
love hearing about your story. I feel like we haven't talked in as much detail with each other about that. So it's really great to hear. Sharing my own experience, I would say that after hearing from everybody, I probably have the most traditional career path that brought me to NJR. I went to school for communications. I graduated from Rutgers. I was fortunate to have internships that I found through my classes while I was there. So internships that were relevant in my field. And when I finished school, I actually accepted another internship that was unpaid, but was working another job and trying to finish that, and said, I'll just continue to get more experience in this field and not worry about the pay, because I was getting a little bit of money from this other job that I was working. And as the internship started to wind down, I did get offered a full-time position with this public relations agency up in Newark. The pay was difficult. I don't know how I would have been able to move out of my parents' house and live on my own. And so even though I accepted the position, my eyes were wide open to other opportunities, which is when I stumbled upon a job at New Jersey Resources and was fortunate to be accepted as an entry-level employee in the communications department. And, really, because I've been at the company for 17 years now, my experience really speaks to, what Sarah touched on, the breadth of opportunities that have been made available to me at NJR, and just the experience of like stepping up and saying yes, and always being curious and looking for more. So in my 17 years at NJR, I have now had 6 different positions throughout the company. I started in communications. And during that time, like Sarah did, taking advantage of the tuition reimbursement program, I actually went back to school to get my master's degree part-time. So I didn't have a strong business background based on my degree. And I went back to get my master's in business administration, which gave me the kind of a more understanding of certainly the financial side and the business operations, which I've been learning more about just because of my exposure in the communications department, where you're really working cross-functionally with every business unit. So I feel like it made me a more well-rounded employee, and gave me the opportunity to move over to our marketing group, which the role was a business analyst. So working a lot more with numbers, which I wasn't comfortable with before. So availing myself of that opportunity to increase my education and knowledge really helped me to step into that role. And from there, building on relationships that I had through those first 2 experiences, I also moved over to the Clean Energy Ventures group that Sarah now works in, and spent some time there. And that was interesting for me because the business is run a little bit differently. Our utility is a regulated entity, whereas Clean Energy Ventures I always say they live and die by the deal. So, you know, we really had goals that were concrete and you had to hit. And for me, it was the greatest learning experience and growth opportunity that I've had since I've been at NJR. And then after that, I moved over to our corporate strategy group, which had some similar themes to what I was working on. I touch a lot on public policy and what I do at the solar market in New Jersey, which had for a long time been very strong, but there's a lot of interesting dynamics going on there. And now my role has transitioned to one focused on the future of what our company will be and focused on strategy and operating sustainably. So, you know, how can we be an even better partner in our communities? How can we make sure that we're operating responsibly, taking care of our environment in all we do? How can we reduce the emissions that we emit from our operations and help our customers do the same thing? So it's really exciting to be a part of the future growth of the company. We're in a really interesting period of transition in the energy industry in general. And, you know, NJR is fully committed to being a part of whatever the clean energy future looks like. We have a lot of opportunity between the solar division and the infrastructure that we have in the ground to play a big role in that. But I would say just throughout the course of my career, I've always stayed curious and I've always wanted to learn more. And I have always raised my hand when people were looking for someone to do something. And that has helped me to increase my knowledge about the company in general and just demonstrate my commitment to always step up and do more. And that's really gotten me where I am today at NJR, but it's great to be in a company where you can have so many diverse experiences, but still have that really, you know, foundational core of working for the same company and seeing the same people over and over. So I feel very fortunate to have had the career at NJR and, you know, would recommend it to anyone as a great place to work. So you can find the opportunity that fits. So without further ado, I would like to take the last few minutes to open it up to questions. The questions can be HR related for Meg, like they were before, or they can be for any of us who have shared our experiences with you. But feel free to post a question in the chat again, or if you'd like to come on camera or come off mute and ask a question, you know, we'd love to take these last few minutes to address anything that you guys would like to ask.